See, you gotta make a grand entrance. Come in here with it. Boom.
Here we are.
I just had to keep people on their toes. Last time you went to the bathroom. I don't even know where you went. And then you walked right on in when we started.
It was kind of perfect timing.
Yeah, and then this time, we've had some technical difficulties. One computer, the next computer, and I forgot to grab your link when you got back home to this one, and I had to throw you in really quick. But I knew what I was doing, which is rare.
Because you're a pro. No, you're a pro at this. We count on you. That's why the technical difficulties are on my end.
I will say this: your camera looks tremendously better.
Oh, it does, really?
Yeah,
okay.
You look way more jacked. It just doesn't look as cloudy.
That's the only reason I wear cutoffs on this. I just want people to see how strong I am.
Yeah, all the chicks watching these great pics we're about to throw down.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
Facts, Lies, One Truth Network, 2 Joes and Wannabe Pros, Ox and Mice. We got our records coming out of last week. Actually, 2024 as a whole. We had week 0 for college football. Find us on Apple Podcasts. Find us on Facebook Live, YouTube, not Facebook Live, Facebook recording, whatever. And then we got YouTube. We're on both of those for video. If you're watching us on video, I think we get some audio listeners. I saw that you bumped our audio listeners up too. We're like at 11 downloads now per week.
11 per week. Nice.
Yeah, we're making
it. Yeah,
yeah,
I knew there were a few people that were tuning in. But 11, that's hey, I'm good with that.
We get a cent, as in a 1 cent per download.
Per listener? Per download?
Same thing, yeah.
That is hilarious. So we're up to like what, 20 cents now?
I think, well, I'd have to look. I haven't looked recently since about a week and a half ago. So I'd have to bring up what our numbers are here. But yeah, I mean, I would expect that, over time, I think we might be over $1 just all time. You know what I mean? Like, that's just how cool this can get, Let's see here.
By the time we go on the cruise, I expect that you will owe me a bottle of water from all our downloads.
I love it. I love it. I dig it. Yeah, last week, what are we, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16 cents? That was a guesstimation last week. So I'll take it. 16 plays, different platforms, whatever. Anyway, you can find us on pretty much anywhere you listen to your podcast, right? You can get us on there. We got some good stuff this week. We get number one thing, we're going to go right off the jump, right? Our NFL Survivor pool pick. We entered. We just have to get our pick in before the last game occurs. So I'm assuming could you wait till Monday night?
I could do that. If that was if we missed until Monday night and we were like, shit, we got to pick a team, we could do it.
Man, yeah, I do have some numbers for you. So I thought this was tough. I mean, obviously this week there's an easy pick, but I thought it was tough in general. And we talked about this last week about, you've done these before and you made it to week 14, 15.
It was pretty deep. To be fair, I did enter 2 leagues. And I lost pretty early on one because that was when the Cardinals beat the Cowboys like week 4 when they were like 14-point favorites. But that's why I got in 2 leagues because I always hedged myself. So the second one I went pretty deep, but didn't cash.
So I did see this. On average, everyone goes out week 4.
Really?
On average.
Damn.
Yep.
And then this is where the strategy comes in because there are going to be weeks. This week is a weird week because every line is almost 3 or less. It's insane.
Yeah.
I mean, we have a 5.5 floating out there, a couple 5.5s, maybe to 8. But we're going to come up to weeks where you're going to have a double-digit favorite. And most people just lock in the double-digit favorite. So when one of those double-digit favorite inevitably loses, half the pool's gone. And so that's what we have to avoid.
So that's what I was going to talk to you about. I saved a lot of my text for right now. And like, you could go different ways with this because I'm assuming, and I read about an app, Pool Genius, I think is one of them that gives you numbers about 3 or 4 different websites in terms of value of the game, value of the pick, and who's picking them, right? So you can get numbers on the survivor pools on who's picking what, on picking who. And I'm assuming the Bengals this week will be that team.
They will be that team, and I'm going to surprise you. I'm going to surprise you with my survivor pick.
Okay. Let me give you one more thing. And I'll leave it alone, and we can get really into it, and then I'll bounce some more shit off of you, okay? I'm just going to throw this blanket statement out there right now, just because it's good for a lot of people. Based on general win odds estimates, right? You got your top teams: Baltimore, San Fran, Kansas City, and then I'm assuming after that you probably get in a little bit of a mix, maybe some Cincinnati, maybe, right? Maybe even a Jets this year. My point is, if you pick the best, what's estimated right now, Cincinnati's week 1, Baltimore's next week, San Fran's the week after that, or no, Jets is week after that, then San Fran, then Kansas City week 5. You go all the top dogs in a row like that, you have a 30% chance of winning.
That's it.
That's it.
That is holy shit.
That's it.
Wow.
Now, what they did say, that's one of the higher percentage bases of winning, but they said it's just most people go out week 4.
Well, and me last year is the perfect example, because I'm almost sure it was week 4. Cardinals had not won a game, getting destroyed by everybody. Yep. Dallas looks like the best team in the NFL. And I remember Trayvon Diggs tore his ACL in practice that week. Still double-digit favorite. It's one guy, right?
Yeah.
Cardinals didn't just beat the Cowboys. They beat them good. And so I fell out week 4.
Yeah.
Your stat is like so perfect with what happened to me last year with the one pool.
Because the Ravens next week have the Raiders at Ravens. So the Raiders are at Ravens. That's why they say that's a really good look. You know what I mean? So like you're taking a lot of the probably heavier favorites, and you only have a 30% chance of winning, staying alive.
30%. I thought you would have said 30% chance of losing.
Nope, staying alive.
Damn.
So my thought is, I don't think I want to go with the all pick for it, because they say the biggest week to save these teams, if you're going to save one or two, is week 9. Because if you look at week 9, a couple of these studs, like a Chiefs, a Niners, and a Ravens, all have favorable matchups. You know what I'm saying? And I'll go ahead and skip to week 9 here right now, and I'll let you know. But yeah, Raiders are at Bengals, week 9. Right. Broncos are at Ravens, week 9.
Oh.
Okay. Buccaneers are at Chiefs, Monday night, week 9.
Man, look at all these.
So if you could save these cats, right, you have spots to play them. Okay. Anyway, what do you got? Tell me what you got. Give it to me.
All right. Well, so you asked for what my top 3 would be, and I will go in order from 3rd to 1st.
Okay.
So 3rd team would be the Bills. They are playing at home versus the Cardinals. They're not my top choice because there has been a lot of pro money that has driven that number down from 7 to 5.5. And the way the Cardinals finished last year, I'm a little scared. And I don't know anything about the Bills defense. The 2nd team, this is where I'll surprise you. 2nd team is the Bengals. The reason they were first for 2 weeks in my head and now are 2nd is because of the Jamar Chase and T. Higgins situation. Guys aren't practicing. And the last 2 years, I'm pretty sure the Bengals have started 0-2, and they've looked like shit.
Yeah.
And it's the same coaching staff. Like, some of these trends, who cares? But I have the same coaching staff. I don't trust them early on. And then you take out their 2 biggest, or we don't know about their 2 biggest playmakers. I'm hesitant. I'd rather save the Bengals. So my first pick, which, well, I won't say anything, is the Seahawks.
I texted you that.
Right now, I was going to let you drill me with it. Because at first, when you text me, I was like, I don't like it. And as I was really just listening to a ton of podcasts this week and listening to like conference breakdowns and stuff, really sold me on the Seahawks. I mean, sold me pretty hard on that team. I do love their new coaching staff, Mike McDonald. They went over like his career. He's like a Kalen DeBoer of the NFL. That guy is just, his defenses, he has completely flipped them wherever he's been. The run game was a huge problem for him last year, stopping their run, sorry. They went out and spent their first round pick on Byron Murphy from Texas. They've got absolute playmakers on the outside. In Denver, I was worried just because like everyone, Bo Nix is going to be the Drew Brees for Sean Payton. Yeah. Let's see it first. Like, I don't think that's a well put together team. And a rookie playing his first game in Seattle was a huge sell for me too. That is going to be extremely hard to go in and win there. So that's what I got.
Yeah, that's where I was at too. The Seahawks were my number one pick. And I texted you that earlier, basically because of a rookie quarterback. Right, there's great numbers. Rookie quarterbacks, I think their very first game of the year, they only win or they lose. The opposing team wins 69% of the time or whatever. The very first game of the year, like it's a really tough. And I was looking at the Seahawks schedule. I guess the next time you would use it, which would be, what is that? 2, 4, 5, week 5. They have the Giants at home, I guess, and we don't really know what the Giants are. I don't think we are assuming bad.
Yes.
It's the NFL. We don't know. Daniel Jones is back. All right. So, it's kind of make or break. But nonetheless, I'm assuming week 5 because their schedule, I think, is pretty well at Patriots next week, obviously, is a go-to. Right. I'm assuming people will go probably ride the Patriots. But when are they gonna screw you over?
Mm-hmm.
Right. Because they're the easiest hit. New coach, new quarterback. Well, Brissett, you know what I mean? I don't know.
It's just just kind of like a journeyman quarterback. Yeah, totally. And their roster sucks. Like everybody knows that. They were the favorite to have the worst record in the NFL. So,
yep.
And that was my strategy with the Cardinals last year. And you see where that got me.
Yeah. So I like the Seahawks at 1. I do like the Bengals just because they're playing the Patriots and the two things we have in our favor, right? The brand new coach. And then obviously Brissett, which I thought it was going to be May, but looks like they're going to hold him at least for a game. But here's the thing. It sounds too easy, kind of scaring me off. Too good to be true, maybe. I don't know. I'm just scared about it a little bit. But they are number 2 because it makes complete sense. Mm-hmm. And then I will say this. I did see a lot of different picks at 3. But I know you like the Bills, and I was leaning away from the Bills. And before I tell you 3, I'll tell you why I'm leaning. Because the Cardinals, I bet on them to make the playoffs.
Oh.
Make the playoffs, not win division. Make the playoffs, okay? And I think they're going to be pretty decent. And I'm not saying they're going to beat the Bills. I'm telling you, I don't know if I want to flirt with the maybe. You know what I mean? Like I don't know if I want to flirt with it, but my pick probably that you didn't see coming was honestly Tennessee Titans.
Really?
It was on the road, I know, but it's a lot. It's a lot for the Bears. Caleb Williams, but everyone's scared. Is he the Heisman? Is he going to be as good as they say he is in the NFL? Week 1's tough, bro. I just think it's a lot.
It is a lot. I mean, I'm glad that's your third choice. Because the Titans are an underdog. We're not going to start week 1 picking an underdog.
No, you don't want to do that. But at the same token, they're not a bad 3.5, right? That's standard stuff. And I just think that everyone's too strong on the Bears off the jump, and I just don't think the Titans are going to be that bad. I'm not saying they're going to be good, and I don't know. The Seahawks are both of ours pick. I think we're safe here.
Yeah, I just locked it in. That's what I was doing on my phone. Because so right when I entered this, I just put the Bengals because I have a fear of forgetting for some reason, even though I'm anal and never do. So went and changed it to the Seahawks.
I do have a question. I was thinking about this the other night. What are we going to do when you come down for the cruise? Because you're going to have to put it in before you come down that week before we get on. How are we going to get our pick in for the week after that? We're going to have to do it when we get back like Friday.
Yeah.
So we're going to have to we're going to have to do a little bit better there. Not that we're doing bad now. It's Thursday, but
Yeah. So Thursday night game will be out that week. And yes, we will have to remember to do it Friday. Now I'm pretty sure because since.
Well, you won't be in Colorado.
I won't be in Colorado. That's what I was just going to say.
Okay.
I think I could still submit a pick because I'm not gambling, right? Because it tracks your location. So if I'm in a state where it's not legal, I cannot do it. But since this is just a pool and I entered in a legal state, I bet I can make a pick. But I do fly back Saturday. So worst case scenario, we're still just going to miss one game.
Yeah.
But before we go on the cruise, yes, we'll have to lock something in.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. We got time. I didn't really realize the days, but we still got time. We just got to make sure if that's the case when you come back on Saturday, that you throw it in when you get there on Saturday. That's the only kind of kicker there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure I'm not going over.
Yeah, well, it might happen too. All right. College football last week. A lot of people got banged up, man. It wasn't just necessarily us. Now, our records don't look that bad in terms of official picks on this podcast, so to speak, like everyone does. But let's do a couple people. They hit pretty hard week one in
Like
terms
pros?
of.
Are you talking like pros got hit hard?
Yeah, I listened to VSiN a lot. I listened to obviously College Sports Network, which is Phil Still gives a lot of his picks on there and whatnot. Different things there, and a lot of people kind of got roughed up a little bit. So it wasn't necessarily just us. Although we had a good rebound in terms of trying to get back to it. But, where we were right. Every week we do the segment where we were right, and we'll kind of give you our yearly record here at the end. But I had James Madison at Charlotte. Charlotte had over 50% of their starters out.
Damn.
And, yeah, man, and they got JMU started off slow. They are also kind of raw themselves. I know they've been really good in years past, but new coach, kind of a heavy roster turnover. But they took care of business, right? And it was close off the jump, but it wasn't close later on in the game. And then
that was one of my bets, and we were both struggling early on. And at halftime, when they were losing, I was like, "Oh, come on, 8-point spread," and then they went by 20. It's like, all right, cool.
I was like, all right, we're good. And then did you end up taking the next one? I think you did. Western Kentucky at Alabama.
I did bet on that, yes, because you were
very confident. Now he's 13. Yeah. Dude, he is insane non-conference. Incredible. He's now 13 wins.
Yeah, I mean, I was looking at their game this week too after that stat, and I'm like, I'm probably gonna keep hitting Alabama until the market catches up.
Oh my gosh, it's insane. So Alabama this week, I missed it. They have South Florida at Alabama. South Florida's supposed to be kind of one of those nitty-gritty teams this year. The coach has been there now a couple years. I'm expecting they actually had a pretty good year last year. They won their bowl game too. And if you remember correctly, they were winning at halftime, and they were only down by 3 in the fourth.
That's right. That was that shit game where the
Alabama played 3 quarterbacks.
Yes, that's right. I do remember that game. Okay, and I remember that game because we bet on Alabama last year.
Yep, that's right.
They never had a chance,
and now I'm a little scared. So they did not make my best bets this week. But I understand completely the bet to stay strong. I totally understand it. So, but I was right there with, and you were as well. I bet, not an official pick for you. JMU I had, Alabama I had, and then you had, which I did not, where you were right last week was you had A&M versus Notre Dame, the under 45.5. So that's pretty good.
Kind of played out just like I thought. Low scoring game, never in question. More defensive teams, so I'm glad I at least got one to cash.
Yeah, you'd like to think A&M's kind of got a classic. They beat the teams they should, but they always lose to the teams that, well, I guess they should lose to. They're still doing it. Now, I understand Notre Dame had a pretty good defense. It'd be interesting to see how Wegman, am I saying that? Weigman, the starting quarterback for A&M.
Mm-hmm.
But does he get better? Because he's not that bad, but maybe he is. I guess the good D he is,
My short answer is no, he does not get better.
Yeah, he was pretty rough, for sure.
And he was their starter last year, too.
Notre Dame exposed him, and no question. But being at home, A&M, I thought, that's such a big win. I know the Elko era is new, right? New head coach this year. That's a risky play just based off that. But had a lot of returning starters. Again, last year they had 11 on both sides of the ball. Last year, A&M did. And they were, the Jimbo Fisher got fired. A&M screws me again, man. Every time I stick with them in some fashion, I believe. And they don't.
And here was the surprising part. You gave the stat that A&M spent $10 million on their defensive line, correct? Notre Dame gashed them a couple times. Like in the fourth quarter when A&M had to stop them, Notre Dame was kind of ripping it. And everything I heard preseason was that the part of Notre Dame that we were questioning was their offensive line because they always return starters, right? And
Joe Alt left, right?
Yep. And they always have pro prospects. And this year it was like, we don't see that.
Yeah.
And then you're going up against a $10 million defensive line. And that's why I was like, it's going to be a low-scoring game, and A&M is going to edge it out. That's why I liked that pick, which we haven't got to that yet. But they got gashed, man. That was surprising.
It was. So I don't know if I want to. I don't know if I'm going to jump off the A&M train, but I'm going to jump off at least for a little bit, just based off I don't know if that's going to be another middle tier ish SEC team, being how tough the conference is, right? So it's not worth riding out. You know what I mean? But Notre Dame is set up to make their run for the playoff now. Obviously, probably favored in every game until USC. Depends on how USC goes third. They're kind of mediocre, maybe-ish Big Ten schedule, but we'll see how that changes because that's going to be a good game nonetheless, period. So, but yeah, they're going to be favored a lot throughout the year. So we should see. And then what you got?
Oh, I just said looks good for Notre Dame with that schedule.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah, I know. Where we were wrong, I was dead wrong on that A&M Notre Dame game. We just talked about that. We both had that. We both had them at -2.5. That's a big old fat L. I figured we kind of just talked about it. I just thought at home was kind of my tipping point. I guess that's kind of where the spread set, and we were wrong. But then you had USC versus LSU. You had the over 65.5.
And I texted you after the first series, and I said that bet is dead. 7.5 minute drive that resulted in 0 points. You will never hit an over that way.
A USC team with some sort of a defense that didn't let over 50 points is pretty. Well, I guess a Lincoln Riley team is what I should say. Didn't let over 50 points is pretty wild.
It is, man. And their defense looked good. And that's everything I had heard going into that was their defensive staff is elite. Lincoln Riley went and got UCLA's D coordinator and all these other guys. And that's where I was like, I have to see it first. And I saw it and lost money in the process.
Yeah. So the crazy thing is about that specifically is it's not like Nussmeier, the quarterback for LSU, is bad.
No,
that dude can sling it, man. And I honestly think, I'm not saying LSU is going to make the playoff, but they're going to be fine. I know they got a really tough schedule, but that team's still going to be good. It's not like they're going to start getting destroyed or at least beat by teams that are. I just thought that was a good game.
Yep.
The over 65.5 was a tall task, especially week one. But that's why I wanted to take it. But we did sweep in. We both had USC, not an official bet, but I had USC money line. But you had them with the spread, I believe, right? 4 or something.
Yeah, I took the points. Yep. Yeah. So
okay.
Not a bet on here, but yes, we both did at least helped limit the losses.
Yeah, so I had a tough week in general. Non-official bets. Kind of went all in on South Carolina. I don't know why I did that. They're pretty awful. But here's our nice little schematic record there. There we go. 2024 record. How do you like that picture there? I don't know if you can see it or not.
Yeah. Where do you pull that?
I pulled
that's an Instagram or a Facebook?
That was an Instagram picture. I posted it actually on Instagram years ago. Years and years ago.
You got us at Raymond James Stadium for the other one.
Yeah. Yours is Facebook. Mine is us at Raymond James.
Yeah.
And I posted that one on Instagram. So yeah, that's our 2024 total record. I mean, that could be totals against the spread or money line. It's whatever the official bet is. But you got NFL coming. So
yeah, I will. I can confidently say I will provide zero more best bets on college football. Probably. I'm an NFL guy, and that is the reason why. 1-3 for my best bets in college. College has never been my strength, man. I'm going to make excuses, but I can promise bets are going to be on NFL from now on out.
Yeah, sometimes it's not my strength either. But I got a little bit this week, not nearly as much, but because this week is not as good as last week. But I think in terms of some lower games, you might actually see some good stuff. So, don't give up on the week in terms of what you can watch. But we're going to do NFL first. I was shocked for you to say you were the push of what games we're taking here. In terms of what we're going to talk about, you chose all of the primetime games. I don't know if you did that on purpose.
Partly. Yeah.
Okay.
So I'll give you my reasoning. There's not – when we look to break down games, for me, I guess I don't want to talk about the games that people aren't interested in. I want to talk about the games that people are going to be watching because they always want to bet on it. I guess I think about my friends group and every primetime game. They're all, who we taking? Versus Sunday games, it's not that big of a deal. And I'm not always going to pick primetime, but the NFL just stacked the primetime schedule. Like, those are the best games of the week. So it was partly due to primetime. Everybody wants to bet on those games. Also just due to the matchups being the best. So that doesn't mean my best bets are all going to be the primetime games. Those are just the games I would like to talk about so people have something to think about. And two of my bets are from those primetime games, actually.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah, we'll start with the first one that you got, and I'll flash it up here. All right. We got Packers. It's in Brazil, so I guess you can't really say it's Packers at Eagles, but we have Packers versus the Eagles in Brazil tomorrow night, 8:15 p.m. kickoff. The spread's pretty close, right? We got the 2, so I don't know, not a whole lot. I got 63% of the cash on the Eagles, but 69% of the tickets on the Packers, with the spread specifically.
Really?
Yes, that's what I got. Now, I do have some notes for you. Got a decent bit. I was a little bit worried here, and I was going to take a little quick peek. I got pulled off the injury list because I did see earlier in the week that he actually practiced. I think it was on Tuesday. Goddard was banged up pretty good. Actually wasn't practicing for at least a week and a half. He's back now. I think that's huge. I did a lot of research on this one. You'd be pretty impressed. Because they only have one other tight end actually on the roster, believe it or not. Cal, I'm going to butcher the name.
Calcaterra?
Thank you. Yep, that's it. Calcaterra.
He's no you guy. That's how I know.
Oh, hell yeah. Okay, so he's actually an average pass catcher according to PFF. So in terms of throwing the ball, he actually wouldn't be terrible. It's where the run blocking that Goddard actually makes a difference, believe it or not. And being such a good, I'm assuming they're going to be a good running team moving in this year because they obviously have a Hall of Fame running back, and they obviously have a very good quarterback. Goddard probably really factors in when they go with a tight end set or whatever it may be. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So him playing helps a lot. Okay. I don't want to get. You want me to give you my prop bets or what? What do you want?
If you have something, because I've got my thoughts, but keep going here.
Okay. So here's what I got. I looked at Jalen Hurts' game log from last season. Okay, currently, I don't even know if this has shifted from a couple of days ago. Jalen Hurts over/under is 37.5 rushing yards. He only was over that 3 times last year as a whole. Okay. I love that in general because I fully believe with Derrick Henry now, and I thought when I watched him, this is just basically an eye test now. A lot of people they want to hear numbers and they want to hear facts. This is an eye test, Corey, here. Eagles obviously had a lot of games on television last year, national television. So I got a lot of eyes on Hurts at times. I felt like he ran less in general to save the body last year specifically. Now, that was just what I saw. So that's why, and obviously only 3 times over 37.5 last year, right? So that's why I'm like, okay, I like this a lot. Derrick Henry's in the house. You didn't get Derrick Henry for no freaking reason. You're going to run the rock with your boy. Goddard's now in.
Hold on. Saquon Barkley.
Oh, Barkley. Sorry, my bad. Barkley. Almost the same, but more of a better pass catcher than Derrick Henry.
At least he's not a shit running back.
Yeah, sorry. Probably not a Hall of Famer. I don't know.
He's been injured too much to
that's what I'm saying too. Yeah, probably not. But okay. But yeah, so that's why I'm thinking, and then it's week 1. He ain't gonna go running crazy. I mean, it could be wrong. I don't know. Week 1. I don't know. What you got?
So my only counter argument was going to be kind of exactly what you brought up. I thought Jalen Hurts looked injured almost all of last year.
Oh, injured. Oh, okay.
And there was speculation too that something was going on with his knee, and they wouldn't kind of report it, and they would do the thing where it's like, oh, he's good. But that dude, when he got outside of the pocket and tried to run, I thought he looked so slow. He slid early, which, I think you learn. I think quarterbacks do learn as they get in the NFL. Like, you can't take this pounding. You got to get your ass on the ground. I don't care how athletic you are. You will not stand the test of a season. So, but I felt like it wasn't due to that. I really felt like there was an injury because I just thought he was slow last year, man. So that was my only counterpoint to the bet. Because you provided a really good stat. He only hit it 3 times last year.
Yeah.
And it's going to be interesting though, because 2 years ago he had Shane Steichen, who likes using the quarterback to run. So he ran a lot. and then he left and went to the Colts. And then last year, we have Brian Davis, who everything I've heard, he just gets shit on as being a terrible coordinator. Got fired after 1 year. So, but then this year he has Kellen Moore, and Kellen Moore has never had a running quarterback, but his system doesn't really go towards a running quarterback. So I think that supports your bet. But again, it's hard because we haven't seen what Kellen Moore is going to do with this offense yet.
They have, I didn't get his first name. I just put it. Eric Stokes as a starting corner for the Green Bay Packers. Atrocious grade last year, coverage grade, 45.9. It's got to be one of the worst in the league.
Oof.
Right? Okay. They actually have a rookie safety also as well out of Georgia, Javon Bullard, round 2 selection, also first game starting. And that's on one side of the ball, right? He's what is he, probably strong? I think he's a strong safety. And yeah, strong safety. And then Stokes is, I don't know if they'll put him on the same side. That's what you don't know. And plus, it doesn't really matter. They're gonna move A.J. Brown different. They're gonna get him against different corners if they can anyway. I'm assuming, right? So that's what I'm saying. My point is, they're gonna throw the ball. They're gonna go after this rookie safety, and they're gonna definitely go after this corner that graded really poorly last year to see what they got. Plus, dude, Devontae Smith, right, and A.J. Brown. Holy smokes, throw that rock.
Yeah. They've got Jair Alexander, who's kind of lockdown corner. But
that's the thing. On the other side, bro, they have probably one of the best corners in the top half corners in the league, and then a top 5 safety in Xavier McKinney. Like, holy shit.
Yeah. The Xavier McKinney, I didn't know he was that good until I was looking at the PFF grade. Jair Alexander, I knew he was a stud. But yeah, Eric Stokes is oof. And then we don't know anything about Bullard, like you said. And since they have 2 like kind of elite pass options, Jair Alexander can't cover both of them.
That's what I'm saying. You got a guy with great hands, and then you got a great deep threat. You know what I mean? Like, I just think the throwing is going to be a little bit better. But and then just to kind of sum mine up, I did see, if you're your PFF guy, I did see there was a 1% edge for his under rushing. I didn't even know that until just now.
Yeah. They provide like edges on everything: props, sides, totals. But it's always so close to market. I don't need that as much anymore.
Yeah, especially with quarterback rushing, it's really kind of comes down to situational.
Yeah, 100%.
And with the spread this close, they could be down in the 4th, and if there's a first down to get, he's gonna go get it. You know how it is. Like I don't know.
100%. So if it's a competitive game, that's what you root for. Well, no, if you take the under.
Right.
Yeah. But. I mean, that's a really good stat. I would never have guessed he only hit that 3 times last year. That's wild.
3 times.
Yeah. I will switch. I do not have a prop bet on this game.
Sorry. I went prop on this one.
Oh, you're good. I haven't had the chance to go that deep. Pre-podcast, I was telling you.
Yeah. Do you have anything on this one?
I do. Yeah.
What you got?
I like the Eagles. I am confirming to see what number I got them at. -2.
Still there.
-2.
Okay.
Still there. So a few reasons here. Similar to the Bengals, the Packers under Matt LaFleur suck ass week 1. They just do. They start slow. He comes from that like Sean McVay tree where they don't do shit in the preseason. They start slow. That's one thing. Okay, that's not a lot. Eagles' offensive line is still really, really good. Really good.
One of the best in football.
Yeah, even with losing Kelsey.
Yeah.
Obviously, we know they've got talent at wide receiver. We talked about that. Saquon Barkley, when he's healthy, is a top 5 back, I think. I would call him that. You have another good pass catcher in Dallas Goedert if he is going to play, which I didn't see.
Practicing. We're practicing.
Yeah. So that looks good there. And then, so I love that. I love the Eagles, what they can do offensively. I think it's a bounce back year. Another big thing is their new coordinators. They got 2 new coordinators, Vic Fangio defense. I kind of talked about this because they were my favorite future bet too to win the division. So, I'm riding the Eagles, man. It's just everything I heard about Brian Davis. He was their OC last year. It was his first OC job. They were stale. You could almost tell watching the Eagles last year that the players just weren't really checked in fully.
Yeah.
Especially once Matt Patricia took over the defensive side. But they got Vic Fangio on defense, well respected. Kellen Moore, it's not like his offenses have been top 3 everywhere he's been, but they've been good. They've been respectable offenses. So I am curious to see what happens, but even being curious to see what happens, I like the Eagles because I think they're also going to come in a little hot because of how last year finished. So yeah, tough. Week one's tough. Week one's always tough, but this was still one of my favorite bets. And what's interesting, as I did read and listen to some things, it appears the sharp side is on the Packers, and I said I don't give a fuck. I'm on the Eagles. I'm the Joe here. Let's go.
Yeah, that's right. No, I mean, especially it's week one. I mean, I don't know. There no data for the sharps, so I don't know.
Yeah, but you know how they're opinionated and stuff, and I think I've gotten in some ruts last year where it's like, oh, I won't go against the sharps. This year, man, I'm gonna do me.
Yeah, 63% of cash though on the Eagles here for spread related things, right? And you got even more than that for the money line. So, but I think from week one, even the sharps could also wait as we get closer to game time here to see where they're going to really go. You know what I mean? Like you see that a lot, especially here because kind of early in the year. You know what I mean? Because they don't have a lot of data, so they kind of want to see how this moves. Mm-hmm. You know.
So, and they could be waiting until limits go up. You know, sometimes you can see some movement on Saturday, Sunday morning and stuff.
Yep. So makes sense. Okay. We got official bet. You got Eagles -2, and I'm going to do my under rushing Jalen Hurts 37.5. So what we got next is you love this one. You texted me. I didn't love it nearly as much as you did. Rams. I did not. Rams at Lions. I'll let you go first before I kind of head into it. I have a medium size notes. I think I have 4 bullet points here where I had closer to 6 on the last game. I'm not going to give away your pick, but I do understand why you're going to go the way that you go here. But, man, this game is close. I'm sitting here just kind of talking about it. We're not even showing it here. But, yeah, man, this game is close, in my opinion. I think 4.5 is a lot now. But give it to me. What's your pick?
Yes, well, so I have the Lions at 3.5.
Okay, nice.
I guess I hit that line early. I actually didn't anticipate that it was going to move in my favor. But here's my reasoning. So they played last year, obviously, in the wild card game. I was on the Rams, and I think that number was 3.5. And I was on the Rams, and that cashed for me. The Rams were a surprise team last year. They got better, and they got better as the year went on. Sean McVay changed the offense because of some injuries that they had, and it's a damn good coach. He does some good things, man. This year, coming into it, we obviously know there's no Aaron Donald. Okay, everybody knows that. We have 3 rookie starters on defense for the Rams. They have a new defensive coordinator because Raheem Morris went to take the head coaching job at the Falcons. So we got 3 rookies going against, and we just said this about the Eagles, so I'll call them one of the 3 best offensive lines in the NFL, in the Lions. They could be really good at their skill positions. Like we know Amon-Ra St. Brown. That guy just knows how to get open. He does not flash. I don't care, man. When a guy gets that many targets, he's doing something right. I think
he's good.
I think he's an elite route runner.
He's top 10 now. He's top 10 now.
Yeah, I know you were hating that I called him so good last year, but I'm bullish on him. I mean, they've got the great tandem in the backfield. Their offensive line is loaded. Where they were weak last year was their defense. They went out and they made some signings on the defense that I really liked. They got Carlton Davis from the Bucks. He was their number 1 corner. They drafted, I think, 2 cornerbacks. Those were their first 2 drafts, if I'm remembering correctly. And so one of those like going to start Terrion Arnold, I think, from Alabama, and they drafted Rackstraw from Missouri. So they invested in their defense, I guess, is my point in the offseason. And the offense stayed just as good. And they brought somebody. They brought Marcus Davenport over too. He's an edge guy. Played with the Saints the first 5 years. I want to say former 1st-round pick. Never blew it up, but I think he's been an all right defender. I know his grades on PFF aren't crazy, but anyways, it's something opposite of Aiden Hutchinson because Aiden Hutchinson grades out really well, and his pass rush win weight is really good. I know I kind of dogged on him in the past, but when I actually look at the data, I'm like, all right, I can't talk shit on this guy. Like he beats blocks often, but he had no help last year, so he was getting double. So I think some of the pressure is going to be taken off that. The Rams did upgrade their offensive line, to be fair. They still have Puka Nacua. They still have Cooper Kupp. They still have Matthew Stafford. I get it. I would love the over, but that 51 in primetime, hell no. I can't do it because everything wants me to take the over, but that's too high. And I like unders in primetime. The data shows that's just the way better play. So anyways, that's why I snagged the Lions at 3.5. Like, I know this was a close game last year, man, but I think the Lions got even better. In the Rams, I think it'll be similar to last year. I think they'll start all right, and they will keep getting better because that is what Sean McVay does as a coach, and they're breaking in a lot of rookies. They have to. And let's be real, without Aaron Donald, man, you have to game plan around him. You have to. And he's not there. So you no longer have to focus on one guy. So I don't think this is like a blowout or anything. But I like the Lions. I mean, it is one of my 3 best bets. I like the Lions here.
Yeah, they got a lot of we got 3 draft choices that are going to be starting here for the Rams on the defensive side of the ball. 2 of them from Florida State, right? First and second round picks. So with Jared Verse obviously being their kind of prime time guy that they drafted 19th overall. So great player. I think he's going to be fine. I mean, he's probably their best defensive player probably last year. So yeah, they're going to be fine there. But my next thought is, and I got you one even better. It kind of goes with your pick a little bit. I went prop bet again. Okay. With that. And you were sitting there talking about the Rams improving their offensive line. Now, they have Aiden Hutchinson, right? Pretty good player for the Lions. You were kind of measuring last year's, I guess it could be this year. No, probably still last year's playoff game versus, this is the wild card game, right? Great game. Aiden Hutchinson had 2 sacks. Okay. He had 2 sacks in that game. The highest graded offensive linemen, Havenstein and Dotson, were the lowest graded offensive linemen for the Rams in that game. Okay? Their other offensive linemen also don't grade out very well. So they kind of got roughed up a little bit by that D-line. Okay? Specifically, Aiden Hutchinson had 2 sacks. I believe the last time I looked, and I already took it, over a half a sack for Aiden Hutchinson was plus 105. I took it.
You took
Havenstein still at the moment, and I believe he's going to play from what I saw, but Havenstein is actually listed on the injury report, believe it or not. Okay? Their best offensive lineman is listed as questionable. Okay? Dotson was also listed, but he has been taken off. Okay? They also have a tackle that is on IR. Another tackle ranked 43rd last year, also on the injury reserve suspended list. Okay? So they don't have a lot of depth. They were injured as shit. I think you remember this in the preseason. Their offensive line, they could not lose one of their starters because if they did, they would have to go sign someone. Yep. And you're going against Aiden Hutchinson, an absolute stud. Boy. You know what I mean? You better come out. So there's not a lot of reps in preseason because they're worried. And your best offensive lineman is kind of, he's going to play, but he's questionable. So I thought the plus money was good.
No, I love that bet. You talked me into that bet 100%.
Yeah,
I was
2 sacks, 2 sacks, and they both played.
2 sacks, and they both played. And I made the point that they added Marcus Davenport on the other side to free up Aiden Hutchinson a little bit. I love that bet, dude. I wrote that down. I will be following that one.
Okay. Yeah. So that's when I was kind of sold on that. I don't know. Plus, you kind of got the Lions playing at home. A little bit of motivation there. I kind of was really digging that. Yeah. So that's that was kind of a basic. This are short numbers there. I was like, all right, I'm all in. Plus money. I always love those bets. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's a good find, man. I like that you do prop research because I focus so heavily on the sides and the totals. Yeah. You always throw some props out, and it gets me thinking. I usually just wait to look at props until Saturday is my thing. But
it's okay.
You attack them earlier, and you find some good ones, I will say.
I don't know how I found that one. I think I started with the research from the game last year to get a pulse on where I could go. And just based when I look at PFF, I saw that they had a really good line, at least on one side. Yeah. Was it Dotson and the Haven kid, Havenstein?
Yep.
And I was like, okay. But then I saw the number of Hutchinson having 2 sacks in the game. I was like, shit, all I need is 1. I went down this route of that, and then I saw there were some guys banged up and shit. And
maybe since he whooped on Havenstein last year, and Havenstein's their highest graded guy, maybe there's just some matchup where Hutchinson kind of has his number. I don't know this, but
we don't know.
We don't know this, but the data shows last year that a highly graded guy, and he's still got 2 sacks on him. Because sometimes there is. I just feel like sometimes you watch games and like you can have 2 good players, and sometimes you see that player A own player B one week, and then they go in against another good player the next week, so it's a different player B, and they don't own him, and it's like I don't know. There is something about, and that's the shit you can't predict though. That's what makes it hard. But and I only say this because you went and found that he has 2 sacks versus this guy last year, so I like it.
And they're going to move him around, I'm sure, right? Put him on both sides of the ball.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see what happens. So you have Lions spread. Am I getting that right?
Yes, minus 3.5.
Yeah, 65% of cash is on that, but 62% of tickets are on LA. So it's a little bit of a discrepancy there between, I'm assuming we're going to Sharps and Public there with the tickets.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised that number moved with me. I really thought when we came on I'd be able to share the bet that with the number that was still available. I mean, I like seeing it move in my favor.
Yep, I agree.
Yeah, that's all I got.
The last game that we have here is also the Monday night game, Jets at 49ers. I tell you what, I did not know what to do with this game. I did a lot of looking. I did as much research and checking it out as much as I could. It's also kind of hard because the Jets are supposed to be so much better with the defense that they have, and then hopefully, a much better quarterback. I think that's easy to say that part, but you never know. Injuries happen. But at the same token, 49ers are a great team. There was a lot of injuries that they were flashing up. I think I just read McCaffrey's going to play, obviously. But I think he was out early, like last week with practice, but he's back practicing this week. So I'm not too worried there. But I just didn't have a feel. I'll say this. There's a lot of random injuries in terms of depth on both sides. I don't know if that really matters. And I did see the wind was a little high. Random, I know.
Really?
Almost in the teens, 9 to 10 mile an hour winds. Now, obviously that could change. I haven't looked today. But I did see the wind was a little high. And I was like, when you see windy games, generally that's when the the under starts to come into play. So I'll be tracking the wind to see if that changes. And if it still stays strong, I'm going to see if I can slip in on the under. But at the moment, I actually don't have anything for this game. I'm sorry, I'm looking up the weather still now. Yeah, I still have it at 9 miles an hour, 8.9. So that's not necessarily high enough to, write it in your journal. But something to keep an eye on. I have to say they're pretty split here. The public doesn't really necessarily know what to do yet, but the Aaron Rodgers factor is bringing in some money on the public. The ticket percentage is 59% for New York Jets. I don't have a play, but I'd be interested to see what you have, just because my research didn't tell me anything strong. So,
yeah, I'm pretty similar to you. I don't have a play right now, and the reason is because there's so many question marks with the Niners. I think this number, I don't know which direction the number is going to go. But there's just so many unknowns. So like Trent Williams, I think it's safe to call him the best tackle in the NFL. He has been holding out all training camp, has not budged. Yep. Their offense line is complete shit without him. I wish I had the data, but like he missed a few games last year and their points per game dropped. Wasn't like 2 points per game difference. It was like 7-8 points per game difference because he is their one stud offensive lineman. Everyone else is average to below average. When you don't have him, that's going to be a huge deal. So I can tell you if he does not play, I'm going to hit the Jets. I'm just waiting right now because there's so many question marks like Hufanga. He's a good safety for the Niners. He's questionable. They list McCaffrey's questionable. He's going to play. Like they do this shit all the time. He'll get shot up before the game. He'll go in. He'll be fine. But they don't have Dre Greenlaw. That was a guy that tore his ACL on the sideline of the Super Bowl last year. I don't know if you remember that. Right? Running on the field, tore his ACL, not ACL, Achilles. So that sucks for them because he was a good guy. Fred Warner's still a stud there. The Niners have Charvarius Ward. He's very good. We all know about Bosa. Absolute stud there too. And they don't really have a ton of weaknesses, the Niners. And then so I go to the Jets side. The reason I'm leaning Jets, but I'm not making a play yet, the question marks is why I'm not making a play. But it's that San Francisco offensive line. because the Jets defenses hasn't been the problem the last 2 years. We know this. It's been Zach Wilson. That defense has been top 5 the last 2 years, and that's hard to do to like year over year.
Yeah,
Talking about positive regression when you have such a good year, and that didn't happen to the Jets last year. And think about they had to be on the field a ton because their offense sucks so bad. Yep. So they had more snaps, more time on the field, and they were still a top 5 defense. Still.
Yeah.
And they don't have like the best defensive line, but they have a good one. It's a very good one. Why can't I think of that defense? Quinnen Williams. That guy's he's interior. Their edge guys are young, and they're hurting because they brought in Hassan Reddick, traded for him. He's a very good guy, double-digit sack per year guy. And then they traded for him, and he's held out the entire time.
Wow.
That's so weird to me because he's not happy with his contract. Usually those things are known before a trade, so that's like super weird how that went down. Yeah. But anyways, if the Jets had him, I'd feel a little bit better because like their defensive line is good, but they're lacking depth without him. And that's going to come into play. But the Niners' offensive line is so weak. And I'm an Aaron Rodgers guy. I'll be real. I like rooting for Aaron Rodgers. I would love to see the comeback story. So that's a very Joe thing of me to say, but I'll say it because it is what it is. So yeah, I don't have anything else on that game. Those are just kind of some thoughts I'm thinking about right now. But I really want to see how the injury plays out, and I want to see if Trent Williams keeps holding out or if they can get a deal done before.
Yeah, he just signed.
He had Chris Jones situation where he does not play week 1, just like he didn't play with the Chiefs last year week 1.
Yeah, Trent Williams signed yesterday.
He did?
Yeah, big old one. Mm-hmm. Huge signing. Yeah. Now, I'm assuming he plays because he's good enough to obviously, miss a little bit of practice and still get his playing time, for the game. But yeah, he just signed, 2 days ago, I think specifically, but I guess official yesterday.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. I'm surprised I did not get that notification because that's everything I was listening to was like the market rundown. So I have a podcast I listen to that literally just goes through injuries and holdouts and stuff. I love it. It's 15 minutes a morning, but it gives me all that info. Yeah. But I listened to the Wednesday morning one. I haven't listened to the Thursday morning. Yep. Otherwise, I would have not have made that mistake. So I don't have anything. I'm glad you know that, but we'll wait and see on that one.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I'm pretty up in the air too, but maybe it's a live bet situation, right? Primetime game. Everybody's gonna be watching. Maybe ride that live bet. Primetime. Yeah. All right. I'll dive into college. I'm sure you don't have a ton, but I do have some picks for you. And I'll kind of start with the first one. I think I have it listed. South Carolina at UK. Oh man, South Carolina just sucks. You probably need to put up this spread. So I saw them. I got to watch their game last week when they played. I'm going to college football, but I saw their game last week when they played Old Dominion. And it's not Old Dominion's predicted to win the conference or anything like that. But South Carolina specifically does have a freshman quarterback, and this is a huge year for Shane Beamer, right? I expected him to come out, cover, and destroy them to really set the tone for his job. They're a freshman quarterback. At one point, I think he was at 35% completion percentage. He can run the ball. Wears rec specs, believe it or not. South Carolina quarterback wears rec specs. Yeah. So they're not ready for SEC play. And going to Kentucky this early in the year, I just think this is too much for a freshman quarterback. I don't see this team being well. They do have a pretty good D, but Old Dominion moved the ball on them. Now, they did let up some sacks, but they were able to move the ball. So I just think that it at least should be 10 points. If it gets above 10, I would be a little concerned. As you can see here on the board, it's kind of sporadic. You can get as low as 8.5, high as 9.5. It's up to you what you get it at. I don't even remember what I got it at. No, I definitely didn't get anything like 10. But I would take it up to 9.5, basically, is what's probably where I'm living at. Just because it's more of a bet against South Carolina, right, than it is a bet. Yeah. I actually got it at 9.5, so I see it's probably dipping here a little bit. So maybe we'll wait that one out. Than it is a bet, for UK, right? I mean, even on action alone, I'm not looking at PFF, but action alone, like we got people taking it, quote unquote experts, whoever the fuck they are. They're taking it at 10. All right, so it's kind of up to you. I don't even know what PFF had it. I could have had it up, but I did not. But yeah, it's a bet against South Carolina. They got to show me something because I didn't like anything that they showed me last week. So if I get burned on that, I'm okay with it. Right? That means they got better.
And I'll only say one thing to back you up. You were covering that game because of your other part-time job, so you watched it. So at least you watched them because I have a bet I like simply because I watched the game. And this team way underperformed. I won't mention it, just yet. But anyway, so those are some bets I'm going to make this week too. It's just because I actually watched the game and I'm like, that team is not very fucking good.
If you got it, go ahead. Well, if you got it, go ahead. What you got?
I'm betting Texas -7 versus Michigan. 100% I'm betting Texas. Michigan, wow. I had the first half under in that game, right? And the under was 23.5, and it was like a 10-3. I mean, it was a couch cover. Michigan was up 16-10 with 7 minutes left in the game. In the game versus Fresno State. Was it Fresno State or UNLV?
I'm sorry. Fresno State.
Fresno State.
UNLV played Houston. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so Fresno State. And then Michigan got 2 late scores to make it look like a 30-10 win. Oh, Michigan's okay. Hell no, dude. That was garbage shit. Texas is going to beat their ass.
Wow, beat their ass. That is strong. There were some talks earlier, basically, I think it was yesterday, that the spread was actually growing. You saw 7.5. I thought it was going to get to 8. People were talking about what's the number that breaks for you? What's where you're like, nope, don't like Texas here. They were saying teens, right? 10 or higher was kind of where you don't bet Texas here.
100%. Yeah, if they got to double digits, there's no way. I think the highest I would bet it is 8. I don't even want 8.5. I want 8.
Yeah, I looked at this game a lot, man. Here's the thing. Overreaction is a possibility for Texas week 1. And Colorado State, I thought they were much better than they were. They were terrible. The quarterback graded near the bottom. So bottom 15 quarterbacks out of every quarterback that played. Week 0 is week 1. 66% of the cash is on Texas. That does make sense. That's a sharp play. I do believe that. But Michigan's defense still is relatively quality and solid. This is at Michigan. They do carry a very, very solid home field advantage, as in it's more than 3 points is my point. I think anytime your home field is more than 3 points, you have a very good home field advantage. Totally. They carry that, right? Over 100,000 fans, they're going to carry that. Derek Cheater's honorary captain, so that's worth a half a point. I'm just fucking with you.
Is he a Michigan guy or something?
See, everyone thinks that. He's from Kalamazoo, but he did not play at Michigan.
But he's their honorary captain?
Yes. Okay. He's from Kalamazoo, though, which is obviously super close to
Western Michigan or something.
Yeah. Super close. Yeah. Anyway, so I have not made a bet. I don't love a 7.5 at all, personally. The biggest question that is the detriment to the team, and I knew it would be because they lost J.J. McCarthy, is the quarterback play at Michigan. It's not very good so far. That was their biggest their defense is going to be fine. It was actually okay, but their quarterback play does suck. And based off of Texas's defense last week, I would be seriously concerned about Michigan heading into this week, only because of that. Now, so maybe an underplay is more of kind of what I'm talking about here. I don't even have it listed here, but we can throw that up really quick, or not. But yeah, so that would be kind of what I would be looking at more specifically. But dude, it's just it's gonna be tough. I just when you see games like that, 7 is high for me, and 7.5 is really high for me, just because of it's at Michigan. You know what I mean? 42.5. I would still lean under there, but this is a lot bet for me.
That's fair. And this is not like my official 3 bets, so I shouldn't pound the table. But
okay. Yeah, there you go.
I watched Michigan, like you watched South Carolina, and I was like, this team ain't it, man. Great defense, I admit that. But going into the big house, I'm good because Texas is really experienced. They have an experienced quarterback. If they had a freshman out there, I'd be like, ooh, going into the big house. I don't know. But they got Ewers, dude. He's played in big ass games.
And their backup ain't no joke either.
No. Yeah.
Now my next one's actually pretty interesting. I think this is going to be a really, really good game. This next one I have, it's going to be Cal versus Auburn. I know it's not one that everybody's probably going to be having on their radar to watch, but at the same token, this kind of dates back kind of to last year. I'm going to bring up the spread there. It dates back. Cal's off the radar in a general college football sense, period. No one watches Cal games, and they're never any good. Roster-wise, this is probably their best team since 2019. They won 8 games that year. So this is probably going to be their best team, okay? They have the 6th best running back in the country in terms of, like, draft rankings. Like, who's going to draft a running back? He's going to be the 6th best preseason. Last name Ott. Love it. Killer running back, man. I looked at his numbers, man. Pretty solid stuff. I was like, okay. So they got a really good running back. The only problem is their defense is the question mark. Okay. This is Auburn's first non-conference, right? Home game since a Power 5 opponent since 2016.
Holy shit. Play somebody, Auburn.
Non-conference Power 5 opponent since 2016. So this is big for them and Cal in general, right? So anyway, just to kind of sum it up, with the bad defense of Cal, and Auburn is probably going to be bottom of the barrel. Can you believe that or not in the SEC? That's how tough that league is this year. The over is 10-2-1 in non-conference road games for Cal. It's pretty sick.
Dang. Okay.
Yeah. So maybe the overplay here is, I guess I can flash that up on the screen. There we go. It's only at 53. Obviously, I don't expect a lot of tickets coming in. Looks like they got a pretty solid value there in terms of value bet. But I take a look at it, right? I took the over in this game just based off Cal's defensive question marks, right? And also, the only thing is both schools have pretty quality. Like Cal's got a very good one. Auburn does have a good. So they could be running more than you think. That's the only thing I don't like. But the fact that I think both of these teams are going to be able to score because the defenses are not very good. That's kind of where I'm going to let. And Hugh Freeze, man, that dude likes to score points, right?
He
in
does.
the SEC before, Liberty was obviously pretty good underneath him, and they like to put up points.
And it looks like from a power rank. Never mind.
Okay, yeah. So
I was looking at the wrong thing here. I'm just scrolling through some data myself. But the over/under hasn't really budged.
No, probably not a lot of bets on it yet, right?
True.
You'll probably get those coming in probably a little bit later. But yeah, I was going to check out the green line, give you a look on that. See, and that's another 96% of cash is on Auburn, the spread specifically. I didn't take, and again, just to reiterate, I did not take that, but 86% for the total is on the over. 86% cash is on the total over. I did not know that, by the way. I just now saw this.
You just saw that. Okay.
So I'm hoping I'm on the right side with the sharps hanging out, right? 53 and a half. That's kind of floating out there. Looks like on the screen. Most books, it's about half. Depending on what book you bet on. I know you have a DraftKings, so I'll probably snag that 53 if you want it. But yeah, that's where I lie. That's where I'm hanging.
All right. I love it. I don't have anything to add to this one. I apologize.
No, I didn't think you did.
Yeah,
but you're going to have a lot to add on the next one, though.
Probably. Yes.
Okay. This one, it pained me to do this. I saw it. I'm going to start with how my thought process went on this last one. I have Kansas at Illinois is my game. Okay. And usually, just based off you, probably better to go to Illinois. Just based off when I see these games, I always look at your games. And I'm like, I want to bet on my boys, right? Kansas or Oklahoma. And I did happen to see this Kansas game pop up. It'll be 7:00, and I'll be available to watch it.
Sweet.
Okay, so that's obviously definitely on my radar. We don't want any of that. We want a little bit.
Funny side note, real quick.
Okay.
OU plays either 30 minutes before or 30 minutes after they kick off, so they'll both be on at the same point.
Yep.
And I am currently in the dating scene, and I definitely had a girl ask if I wanted to go out Saturday night, and I said no.
Look at you. You're a strong man. You're a strong man.
I am sorry, but it is that time of the year. Dating is about to get really hard. All right.
Yep.
Good.
So I looked at this game, and they played last year, by the way. Kansas whooped up on that ass real quick. They were up 21-0.
Yep.
Illinois did fight back in the second half, but the deficit was still pretty. I think it was like 34-24 or something like that. The deficit was still grand, 34-21 maybe. So they beat them. Illinois, this is Brett Bielema's 5th year now. His 4 years ago, they played Virginia. Illinois did. Got that ass whipped. Went to Virginia, got that ass whipped. I think they only scored 3 points. The very next year, they whipped that ass in Champaign.
Okay.
Deja vu, maybe? Deja vu here? Right?
So
Got that ass whipped?
That's so long ago. I don't love that.
I'm just same head coach. Same head coach.
So he learns. Maybe he
I'll
knows
say
how to
this. I'll say this. I mean, obviously, Kansas quarterback is awesome, Daniels, right? 5 of the last 7 non-conference road games for Kansas have gone over the total. Okay.
You know,
Hit me.
26% of the tickets are on the over. 89% of the cash is on the over.
I love it.
Yeah. That supports you.
I like
Well,
that.
it supports the over. It supports the over, I suppose.
Yes, sir.
Because I don't know. Have you? I think I kind of know which way you're leaning, but I think you're still getting there.
This is Big Cock Bet of the Week.
Oh, okay. This is a new one.
Illinois Fighting Illini money line.
Money line.
The revenge factor for me is at least worth 3 points. Okay. Spreads at 5.5 here. Okay. And I was doing some random board, just messing around, best grades of interior D linemen on PFF week 1.
Mm-hmm.
Did the whole list, all teams, all interior D linemen. Just wanted to skim it, see who ranked high, see who ranked low as a team. Illinois caught me with their interior linemen grading pretty well for week 1.
Okay.
I like it. Daniels is a runner. I know interior D lineman's not necessarily related to a quarterback running, but that also caught my eye. Okay, so the D line for Illinois is pretty solid. Okay. The revenge factor, being at home, Brett Bielema's in his 5th year, so I'm assuming probably borderline, like, all right, I mean, hot seat-ish, and they're never going to compete in the Big Ten, but whatever. I don't know I'm assuming a bowl game is great for Illinois. Okay. I'm going to and you know what's great? And I swear you're not going to believe it. I swear to God. I was like, dude, this is a revenge game. The hunch I have in me, the gut feeling, I like this a lot. Swear to God, when I was running today, put on the field steal.
Yeah.
Picked Illinois money line. I was like,
you
got to be kidding me. Yeah, I don't know if that's good or bad. I had a couple follows last week of his, and we missed a lot. But yeah, he also has Illinois.
He also has Illinois. Okay. So I'm looking at their lineups right now in PFF.
Okay.
I do love that they do player grades and grade all this stuff out.
Yeah.
Man, to me, this just supports the over so strongly.
The only thing
I will bet against my boys anyways, but
yeah,
because Daniels or because KU obviously Daniels is great when he's healthy. Their receivers are studs, dude, and they're all back from last year. Their running back's super good. Their offensive line is graded way better than I thought. KU. So offense. All right, cool. Let's go to the other side of the ball. Just player grade wise. Illinois' offensive line, to your point, it's not like they're amazing. Their left tackle is graded like superb, but they don't have a weak link on the offensive line. Like, there's not really a weakness there. They're not like superb, but there's nobody that just like sucks. In KU's defense, one of their linebackers is ranked 778th out of 778.
Oh my gosh!
Not making it up.
Now.
They have a good secondary, but interior they're not very good. Their linebackers suck. They just have a good secondary, dude.
Did you see how?
I guess with the over, that may not be the play, but Illinois returning their quarterback too. I'm surprised at that over under. Not to take your steam away, I just wanted to hit on some of the lineup stats there, which really got me thinking like we're going to be passing the ball around.
The only thing that I saw when I was looking at PFF is these grades are still from last year. I guess they don't have enough data. If you click on the player, it shows you the 2024 grade.
You had to click on them and go to it though.
Yeah.
2024 snaps. Oh, and they break it down by passing snaps and year by year. Wow. Okay. Oh, that's so funny. This guy that's the worst linebacker in the country for KU.
Played okay week 1.
Well, his best grade was in 2020. Then he got worse in 2021.
Yeah.
Same 22. 23, he was god awful. But week 1, hey, we're back to 2020. So maybe we figured something out.
Against I don't even know. Did you get FCS team, right?
Yeah, I mean against with a Lindenwood. So I mean
Lindenwood.
Yeah. Do we? I should know this. Who did Illinois beat week 1?
Eastern Illinois.
Okay, so also, I mean, most teams kind of do a pancake game week 1, so it's hard to
trust the grades there.
Yeah, it's hard to, but okay, so you are on Illinois money line. Okay,
revenge factor. That's a best bet. Over on the Cal game is a best bet.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
And Kentucky, South Carolina I don't think that's not a best bet for me.
No. Okay.
Yeah, I'll sit that one out. But my 2 props are. So I have 4 total.
Oh, you got 4 because those 2 props. And okay.
I love the props, bro.
Okay.
Jalen Hurts under 37.5. Aiden Hutchinson, that's his name. Yeah. Over a sack. Over half. He's got over half sack.
I love that too. I can't make that because that was yours, but I'm gonna follow that bet. I'm gonna follow that.
So I got 4 this week.
I will give you my 3.
Okay.
And then, man, we're running over the KC game, so I do want to wrap this shit up. But
yeah, we're at an hour 15.
I can't help myself, dude. I just love talking football. So best bets though. 3 best bets here. I'll give you. So I already talked Lions 3.5. Sorry, that number's moved to 4.5, but at 3.5 is my official number. Eagles -2. I'm on it. Panthers +3.5. Let's go.
Wow.
I'll give you a 60-second breakdown. Actually, I'll give you a 6-second breakdown. Dave Canales.
Okay.
That guy, everywhere he's been, I love really getting into these coaches' careers because, God, they make a difference, man. That guy was in Seattle during Russell Wilson's best year. Went to Tampa Bay, Baker Mayfield's best year. Bryce Young was the number 1 overall pick for a reason. And I think they had a garbage coaching staff that was cut in the fucking 1950s last year. Now, Panthers traded away their best player in Brian Burns. It's not like I think the Panthers are going to be a bet on team all year.
Yeah.
But for week 1 versus the Saints, it's a division game. Give me the points, dude. Give me the points. They don't know what Dave Canales is going to be, but the Saints didn't do shit all offseason. Derek Carr's still average to probably below average quarterback. They don't have a ton around him. I'm on the Panthers, man. I am on the Panthers. I think Bryce Wilson's going to have a good year in week 1. They're not going to know what's come. And I think it's just going to be close. I'm not calling the Panthers to win. I'm not taking a money line, but I'm taking the 3.5. So those are my 3.
It's up to 4 now in some markets here, and 62% of cash is on the Panthers, believe it or not, for the spread.
That is surprising. I wouldn't have guessed that. Only other thing I wanted to hit on before we got the best bets out.
Yes.
Sorry, I keep going off script, but last thing here, I wanted to ask about the Tennessee NC State game, and I will. The only reason I'm asking, Tennessee didn't play anybody last week, so they won by 100. Okay, who knows how good they are? But NC State played Western Carolina, FCS. That is another game. It was a 7-point game in the fourth quarter.
In the fourth.
And then they get 2 fucking garbage late touchdowns. And this is why, well, I'm not a pro because we don't have time to research and be a pro, but just watching that, I'm like, I'm going to throw a few bucks on Tennessee. If NC State's struggling with Western Carolina, let me go ahead and sprinkle a little bit on the other team. So I just wanted to know if you had looked at that game at all.
No, but I've heard a lot of people talk about it, and that's kind of where we're at is when you look at it. Is this an overreaction week 1? Did NC State just come out and trip up a little bit and just we're going to overreact? Because NC State was predicted to be not win the ACC, be a team you don't want to play, and you definitely don't want to play them at NC State, right? That was kind of their MO. But man, what a dud last week. All signs do point to Tennessee based off how they looked, right? Nico Horner, right? Is that his name? Nico. He didn't even play in the second half. They were beating him so bad. Tennessee was. I would lean NC State. I think this is a too good to be true situation for Tennessee. It's a laughing stock that they were losing to Western Carolina, right? Was that the team going in the fourth quarter? This is a worry. Like, okay, when stuff is too good to be true and too much of a lock bet in your eyes or in your mind, sometimes scares me off, bro. And it's gone both ways. I've been wrong plenty of times. But 98% of the cash is on NC State.
What?
Yep.
93% of the cash.
98.
Well, okay, so this makes me like Tennessee even more. The line opened 7 and now it's at 10. So the book said, I don't give a fuck about the cash. I'm still going towards Tennessee.
Yeah, I mean, that 2% is probably, what, $10 million?
This is wild, man. They have 94% of the tickets, 98% of the cash. Yeah. And PFF is giving the edge to NC State, too, and the edge to NC State money line. I don't care, dude.
Wow, you heard that on Tennessee. Wow.
Well, this will be a smaller bet just because, like, I had my opinion, but you kind of talked to me and been like, you made some good points. Like, if something's too good to be true, it's probably too good to be true. It's not that simple. So this will be like a little sprinkle because I might tune into the game. But that's the cash ratio really is like, I can't believe nobody's on Tennessee after NC State. I guess maybe everybody's thinking what you're thinking. But this is a recent move. This isn't even like a Saturday night overreaction. This is in the past couple of days. It's gone from 7 to 10 with NC State taking all the bets. That's weird, dude. That is weird.
Yeah, and right? NC State has a veteran quarterback, right? Grayson McCall has played a long time in college football. He actually
had college football like 8 years, I think.
Yeah, was Coastal Carolina kid, right? Started as a freshman.
I'm pretty sure he played at KU when I was at KU. I'm pretty sure fucking Grayson McCall. If he played Coastal Carolina, it was definitely Grayson McCall.
He's been playing since 2019, pre-COVID, man.
Jeez.
Pretty wild. It's a long time. Okay, that's all I got, bro. I'm sure there'll be many more on Saturday via text message.
Oh, yes. We'll be getting after it.
Yeah. All right. So, let everybody go watch the NFL game. That's what we're going to do. And, we'll catch y'all next